What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dana White reveals Sean Strickland is fighting winner of Izzy vs DDP. Ahead of this weekend's UFC 305 card in Perth, Dana White had shed some light on the middleweight title picture. Up until now, it was unclear who would get first dibs on fighting the winner of the Dricus du Plessis-Israel Adesanya fight, given that both Sean Strickland and Robert Whittaker were on the cusp of a title shot. With Strickland uninterested in a fight against Whittaker to decide the #1 contender, the UFC booked the Reaper a fight with Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 308, with fans assuming that a win would guarantee Whittaker a crack at the belt. Now, Dana White has revealed that Strickland isn't the odd man out at 185 pounds after all. During an appearance on the Jim Rome Show this week, Dana White announced that the winner of this weekend's du Plessis-Adesanya fight will in fact defend the title against Sean Strickland.
Listen, Sean Strickland right now is the #1 ranked middleweight in the world, and the answer is yes.
Leading up to UFC 305, DDP weighed in on Strickland being the #1 contender, and the idea of a potential rematch between the two if he gets the job done on Saturday night.
Doing the Strickland rematch for me, it's awesome because people want to see it. So I'm really happy. I'll do that. And now I've been in there with Strickland. The biggest thing about a fight is the surprise factor, and there's no surprise now. Right now I know exactly what to do, and this time to finish him, just start earlier.
Despite Strickland being the #1 contender, with the win over Khamzat Chimaev, expect Whittaker to punch his ticket to a title shot after Strickland. Next up, let's take a look at Belal Muhammad reveals shocking news. In the wake of his win over Leon Edwards at UFC 304, Belal Muhammad revealed this week that Khabib Nurmagomedov was manhandling him in training prior to the bout. This week, Muhammad also revealed that after having to claw his way into title contention, if he had lost to Leon Edwards in Manchester, he likely would have considered retirement. While speaking to Brendan Schaub on a recent episode of The Fighter and the Kid, Muhammad opened up on his mindset going into the fight.
Exactly. And it was like to the point in my head where I was looking at it like, if I lost, there's a chance that I'm probably just gonna be like, bro, I'm hanging him up because I'm not gonna get another shot at it.
Nope.
It was so hard to get there. I'm begging you guys to make a video for me to hype me up to get a shot there, right? And it's like, I hate asking people for anything, but I'm just like, bro, I'm so desperate to do whatever it takes to get this shot that I'll try anything.
The MMA community was quick to react to the comments from the newly minted champion, with one fan writing, "Don't tease me like this." Another wrote, "If I were in Belal's position going into the fight and I lost a title shot, I'd probably want one more fight to see if maybe it was an off night. As a fighter, the belt is the end goal. If you lose the title shot and the fight after, I think that's proof that you aren't the best." One joked, writing, "Leon really sold big time. This would be bigger than just retaining the belt." One member of the MMA community gave Muhammad his props, writing, "As much as I think Belal is corny AF and has a non-favorable fighting style in terms of entertainment, I totally understand doing whatever you need to do in order to reach your dreams. I'm actually happy for him." So far, no word yet on when Muhammad will be back in the octagon to defend his title. However, the expectation is that either Kamaru Usman or Shavkat Rakhmonov will get the next crack at the belt. Conor McGregor will not return in 2024, according to Dana White. During his Contender Series press conference, Dana White confirmed that there is no date in 2024 for Conor McGregor.
We talked, yeah, we talked. We didn't meet up, but we talked. And yeah, he wants to fight, so we'll figure it out.
Soon? By the end
Not
of
this year. He won't fight this year.
Conor McGregor took to Twitter to address the comments made about his return, writing, Dana, December is the date. Bring the calendar year home with the winning event. Come on now, what's this? I am off to altitude next month to prepare. December. Tell Dana and UFC we want December. We deserve December." Michael Chandler fired back at Conor McGregor on Twitter, replying to his post by saying, Conor, the sport will move on and thrive without you. Put to bed, laid to rest. Soon a distant memory. You vastly overestimated your importance inside of this game for almost a decade. Godspeed. Next up, let's take a look at Sean Strickland calls out MMA media. This week, Sean Strickland took to social media, calling out a manager named Tiki Gosen for allegedly assaulting a girl several years back. According to his website, Gosen, who owns Arsenal Sports Agency, manages a number of current and former fighters, such as Rampage Jackson, Dustin Poirier, Brian Ortega, and TJ Dillashaw, just to name a few. As Strickland alleged in a 4-minute long video, Gosen allegedly assaulted the daughter of someone he knows and is friends with. As Strickland also explained in a video posted on Tuesday, Gosen has since threatened to sue him for defamation of character. In response, Strickland reached out to the father of the girl, saying that if it's okay with both him and his daughter, he will raise money to fund a case against Goossen. The accusations were quick to go viral on social media. However, as Strickland pointed out on Tuesday, 48 hours after initially accusing Goossen of assault, there were no articles to be found online about the situation. Along with a screenshot of his Google search results showing no articles written about the alleged assault, Strickland wrote, 48 hours and nothing. Tell me there is not a cover-up. I can't sneeze without it coming up on Google. The flow of information is controlled. So far, it doesn't appear as though Strickland has in fact started a GoFundMe to raise legal fees for the girl, who he says is now happily married. However, given the seriousness of the accusations and the fact that Strickland has shown he can be unrelenting when it comes to calling out alleged predators, it's safe to say this situation is far from over. Next up, let's take a look at Dana White shuts down Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. While Dana White has held out hope that the winner of the upcoming fight between Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic will stick around for a title unification bout with Tom Aspinall, White made it clear this week that a bout between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira is off the table. During an episode of the Pat McAfee Show, White shut down talk of a Jones-Pereira fight after he was asked about the possibility of the pair sharing the octagon.
No.
Okay.
See, that was easy. That was quick.
In response to fans joking about his recent praise of Jon Jones, White took aim at the internet after confirming that he is aware of the jokes.
Well, everybody on the internet's stupid, so... Anybody who thinks Jon Jones isn't the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world should never be discussing fighting ever. Period. End of story.
Okay.
While the UFC hasn't officially announced the fight, the expectation is that Jones and Miocic will collide at Madison Square Garden in the UFC 309 main event. Next up, let's take a look at Darren Till sends advice to Israel Adesanya before UFC 305. This weekend, Israel Adesanya will look to return to the octagon for the first time since his loss to Sean Strickland last year. With the stakes at an all-time high for the last stylebender as he looks to reclaim the middleweight title, Darren Till decided to share some advice with Adesanya that he believes could help the former champ defeat Dricus du Plessis. In a lengthy post on social media, Till wrote, in part, "Lots of feints. He reacts to them so much and throws from the hills. Then you can step back. Have a look, and either for punch combo or knee, maybe a kick. You're a high-level striker, so you know what I'm on about. Everyone on here won't have a clue, but they'll try to understand it. Only the elite strikers get it. As he rushes in, also do what you did against Rob, and I did the same. Yours knocked Rob out, as where mine didn't, but still same. DDP will rush in." In addition to Till's advice, Adesanya also received some unsolicited advice from the champion himself, who explained in an interview with New York Post Sports this week that Adesanya should find a way to pull out of Saturday's fight.
Well, if I was in issues right now, I would find a way to pull out of this fight, to be honest, because I'm feeling great. I'm feeling the best I've ever felt. That's the banter in me, getting ready for that. But in all honesty, to go and say he doesn't have the fire, I think the fire might be there, but it's just too small. My fire is just shadowing his fire. Maybe that's why I don't see the fire in him. It's because of the fire in me. The fire burning inside of me is just overshadowing his. And I think that's where my opinion comes from. Maybe it's just that, because I'm hungry like I've never been before.
With the stakes at an all-time high for both fighters, it'll be interesting to see how things play out on Saturday. Next, let's take a look at UFC updates. Ahead of this weekend's pay-per-view card in Perth, Australia, let's take a look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with a flyweight bout between CJ Vergara and Ramazanbek Temirov, scheduled for UFC Vegas 98 on October 12th. The fight will see Vergara look to bounce back after a loss to Asu Almabayev snapped a 2-fight win streak back in March, while on the flip side, Temirov will be looking to make his successful UFC debut amid a 9-fight victory streak that most recently saw him pick up back-to-back wins in Rizin last year. In addition, MMA reporter Cole Shelton is reporting that the UFC is set to return to Tampa on December 14th for a fight night card that will likely be the final event of the year for the UFC. Last but certainly not least, Dana White also revealed on the Pat McAfee Show that the UFC will be going to China later this year for a card in Macau. The UFC has previously been scheduled to host its first event in China since 2019, earlier this year, but wound up moving the event to Las Vegas instead. While discussing the UFC schedule for the rest of the year, White explained,
We're cruising around here soon. We're going to Perth. This week we're going to Perth, Australia. We got Paris, France coming up. We're going to Abu Dhabi in October, Edmonton, Canada, Macau, China. So
Hey.
We're traveling around the end of this year.
Despite the announcement, White did not drop a targeted date for the card in Macau. Muhammad Mokaev details an altercation he had with another UFC fighter where a weapon was drawn on him. According to Mokaev, Amir Albazi pointed a weapon at him after getting into a fighting stance in the middle of the street. Here's what Mokaev had to say.
Мы отъехали, там Албази стоял за поворотом. Амир Албази, второй номер в моем. Он что-то какой-то непонятный. Я выбежал с машины, стойку с ним встал. Я в стойку с ним встал, а у него операция на шею была. Я думал, я его сейчас побью, он же будет судиться, он из таких. Я с ним в стойку встал, он пистолет достал на меня.
Амир Албази?
Албази. Рядом стоял Джавид Башарат, который дерется в UFC. Эльдар тоже со мной рядом был. Я с ним в стойку встал, дернул. Он ничего не сделал. Мы встали, отъехали. На машине он еще кричал, давай, уезжайте, хотел. Если ты в одном дивизионе с пацаном дерешься, если ствол на него доставишь, это насколько ты должен трусом быть, если ты такое делаешь.
The MMA community reacts to Dricus du Plessis' body transformation ahead of UFC 305. The UFC page posted pictures of Dricus training, and fans took notice how shredded he is. Here's what the community had to say. 12-year-old me in the mirror thinking I'm jacked. His physique looked better when he fought Strickland. He is less motivated this time around. This MFer has to be on steroids, there ain't no way. Unless his arms grew that long from HGH, something just isn't right with his physique. Wow, looking good. Izzy by third round decapitation. I think Dricus is underestimated. Stylistically, Israel will find this fight really challenging. It's just funny to see fighters getting this shredded post-USADA. I smell something fishy. At least we all know both fighters will be entering the octagon juiced the F up, and I'm here for it. Zero Aura. Top comments. Ariel has been so unfairly treated. Yes, he did get fired from 109 companies. Yes, he did subvert MMA journalism for his own gain. Yes, he tried to destroy the UFC out of pettiness several times, but it was never his fault. This is pure persecution. He has had to deal with this for 6,000 years. It can't be his fault. Come on, man. Dana hyping Jones is worse than Dana hyping Power Slap. That just means Joe probably wrote most of Brendan's material when he helped him transition from fighter to not funny comic. Stipe just needs to wear vivid blue contacts the night of the fight. Jones will be hypnotized.